While it's fresh on my mind, I wanted to do a quick comparison video of what I think are two of the best luxury chronograph releases of 2024. From a macro perspective, the Glassbox and the FOIS can easily be grouped into the same category. They are both great watches, their lineage both traces back to the 1960s, they both have heritage, and they both serve as chronographs. They're both Swiss-made, and they're both similar in size. If you've been following the channel, then you know I've been wanting a mechanical chronograph basically since TAG announced the second generation modern Glassbox in early 2023. The Reverse Panda was my first choice, but when TAG announced the Sunburst Silver Panda, it was a wrap. And my whole collecting journey refocused to figuring out ways to eventually have that land in my collection. I stayed true, never switched up. I didn't give into or never let my eyes wander. That is until Omega released the 2024 FOIS. This watch, holy sh**. This is the first time I ever went to a boutique this close to a release date for a watch. I needed to know if this would dethrone the Glassbox for me. The FOIS dimensions are 39.7mm diameter, a lug-to-lug of 48mm, a thickness of 13.4mm, and a lug width of 19mm. This watch wears fantastic on my 6.5-inch wrist. There are some reviews out there talking about how the lugs are kind of long. I didn't feel that at all, and I think the case proportions are great and will work on all wrists. When comparing the wearing experiences of the FOIS and the Glassbox, on my dainty 6.5-inch wrist, the Glassbox does wear a little bit better. 39 is just such a great universal size, and with the 2mm shorter on the lug-to-lug, the Glassbox works better for smaller wrists, in my opinion. The dimensions of the Glassbox is a diameter of 39mm, a lug-to-lug of 46mm, a thickness of 13.86mm, and a lug width of 20.7mm. Turning the case over, the Glassbox has an exhibition caseback while the FOIS has a solid caseback. This is preferential and there are benefits to both. In most cases, I prefer a solid caseback for a better water resistance rating, but in this comparison, the Omega only comes with 50 meters of water resistance with a solid caseback. And I feel like the Omega 3861 caliber is better finished than the TH20-00 caliber. If TAG put a solid caseback and got the Glassbox closer to 12mm in thickness, I definitely would have taken that, but I'm not mad. The Glassbox does come with 100 meters of water resistance with the exhibition caseback, so TAG wins on water resistance. Neither watch has a screw-down crown or screw-down pushers. Both watches have easily accessible crowns and pushers, and they can both wind up by turning the crown. The biggest difference is the movements. TAG's TH20 is an automatic, while the Omega's 3861 is manual wind only, but we will get to that later. The dial is where subjectivity and preference comes most into play. There are no losers, both dials are distinct and stunning. They are both modern callbacks to classic 1960s design. The lume on the Speedmaster does perform better and has more coverage, and the tag looks more like a bicompax design due to the second subregister not being outlined like the other two. This is a positive for me, and one reason why I chose the Carrera over the Speedmaster. Another big positive the Carrera has over the Speedmaster for me is the date window. I always prefer watches with date windows. I know some of you will disagree, but that's just me and my preference. The case design is another area of subjectivity and preference. Both are beautiful. The straight, non-beveled lugs on the Speedmaster speak more vintage 1960s to me, but the domed sapphire over the tachometer on the Glassbox gives more of a vintage look. It's tit for tat in this area. There are no real losers on each side. It's just preference. I like the shorter lugs. I don't mind the extra thickness on the tag. The 39mm case on the Carrera wears better for my wrist over the FOIS. The movements of each watch are very different. The Carrera houses their in-house caliber TH20-00. This is a 33 jewel, 4 Hz automatic with an 80-hour power reserve. The movement features hacking seconds, shock protection, and is COSC certified. The Speedmaster houses Omega's caliber 3861. This is a 27 jewel, 3 Hz manual wind with a 50-hour power reserve. This movement also features hacking seconds and shock protection, but this movement has a better certification through METAS. METAS certification covers a wider range of testing on top of accuracy like magnetic resistance and power reserve. COSC only certifies movement accuracy. I read some things online saying Omega's 3861 is technically not in-house and that it's based off a Lamania movement. Not sure how much of that is semantics or if Omega is literally buying Lamania movements off the shelf and putting them in their Speedmaster cases. Anyone that has more info on this, please share in the comment section below. In the bracelet department, the Omega definitely has an edge. The small footprint 2-position micro adjust clasp of the Omega is very nice. I like the period correct block link design. The bracelet of the Omega is very comfortable. The tag bracelet is okay. One thing the tag bracelet has over the Omega is the very thin clasp design. It's seamless, not bulky, and looks much cleaner when on wrist. I prefer the Omega bracelet, and I think there was a little more thought put into this design. Both bracelets are pretty annoying to resize. The tag is sized with pins, and the Omega is sized with pins and screws. From a brand perspective, Omega is pretty untouchable. They've been consistent and their catalog is filled with timeless pieces. Omega has a lot to offer throughout their full range, and I feel like Omega gets more of the respect. Tag's history in the last few decades has been a bit wishy-washy. I've always viewed Tag as expensive mall watches, and growing up I pretty much hated all their designs and thought they were all pretty tacky. My position on Tag has changed since then. Tags are definitely cheaper when compared to Omegas, but I feel like Tag is currently on a mission and I have expectations that the next few years will be a great run for them. I'll get more into the reasons why I chose the Tag for my mechanical chronograph in my upcoming visual essay that'll be coming out hopefully soon. As always, I appreciate y'all stopping by. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, please like and sub. It would help me out so much, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.